to a big development. It's a massive new turn in a very sensitive case. A high-profile personality was found 4 months ago in a hotel room. She was dead. 4 years and 4 months after Sunanda Pushkar died in mysterious circumstances, her husband and Congress MP Shashi Tharoor will face, we are told by our sources in the Delhi police, charges of abetting her suicide and also destroying evidence. If the police can prove the charges, Tharoor could end up facing 10 years in jail. The charge sheet shall be filed in a few days. As of now, it is being vetted. It is being vetted by the prosecution department of the Delhi police, and it is to be submitted shortly in the court of law. I am joined by internal security editor Nikunj Garg, who has broken perhaps the biggest story of the day today. Nikunj, big development. First of all, what are the police telling you about the charges and why they've come to this conclusion?
Well, Rahul, first of all, we must also inform our viewers now that in last 20 minutes, there is a dramatic development that has taken place from the Delhi police's side. Usually, the law enforcement agencies do not comment on the charge sheets being finalized because charge sheets are the courts are the repository of the charge sheet and they should be the first custodian of it. But in an unusual move, Delhi police has come out and confirmed our story. The story that we put out has two parts. One, that Dr. Shashi Tharoor will be charged with abetment of suicide of his wife, Sunanda Pushkar Tharoor, who died under many would call mysterious circumstances, and also destruction of evidence. The second part is that the charge sheet, as you said, is being vetted by the prosecution department currently as we speak, as we inform our viewers of this development. The second part has been officially now confirmed by the Delhi police. The public relation officers of the Delhi police have put out a message in response to massive media queries, and they have said that yes, it is indeed correct that the charge sheet is in the final stage of being vetted, and it is with the prosecution department. So our news break has been confirmed by the Delhi police. They obviously will not comment, as I said, because the charge sheets are the courts are the first repository of the charge sheet of a law enforcement agency. So they will not charge on the charges that they are mounting against Dr. Tharoor. But the story, the news break that we put out some 1 hour back, is now confirmed officially from the Delhi police's side.
Okay, so it's a big development. We tried to, of course, question Shashi Tharoor. You can see him there on the left. He was in Thiruvananthapuram as part of the nationwide candlelight vigil that the Congress party is holding for the victims in Unnao and Kathua and other betis who today have not got justice. But he didn't think it fit to comment on his own wife's case, whose relatives, of course, are also waiting for justice. Now, I want to come back to you, Nikunj. So the sum and substance of the news break is that Shashi Tharoor is not in the clear.
Absolutely not in the clear. In fact, Rahul, he is the only accused mentioned in the charge sheet. There are aides of Mr. Shashi Tharoor that have also been named in the charge sheet, but the Delhi police's investigation says that Dr. Shashi Tharoor's aides only worked at the directions given by the then minister in the UPA 2 regime, and they were only acting on the instructions of their boss, which is quite regular in any case of eventuality. Obviously, the employers will direct their employees, and employees have to follow those directions. So the only person who has been charge sheeted in this charge sheet is Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Two very serious charges if you look at the relationship between him and late Sunanda Pushkar Tharoor. Obviously, she was the newly married wife of the minister. And when you say that he abetted her suicide, clearly saying that he drove her to take her own life, and the destruction of evidence, which also in a way proves a lot of allegations, at least from the criminal prosecution point of view. Obviously, the legal adjudication will happen in a court of law that were being made at that point of time, that Dr. Shashi Tharoor's entire conduct from the time he was informed of his wife's death and till the time he first contacted the law enforcers or his men contacted the law enforcers was clearly very suspicious. So Delhi police even saying that he in a way impeded or in a way obstructed the entire free and fair investigation in the case.
Well, 4 years, 4 months later, the law may be catching up with Shashi Tharoor. We have been told by our sources in the Delhi police via Nikunj Garg that this is indeed the case, that a charge sheet is going to be filed very soon, that Shashi Tharoor is going to be an accused of abetment to suicide. We're also being told that he's going to be charged additionally with the destruction of evidence. So that is something else that could pose a challenge for him. Now, we tried to question Shashi Tharoor. Here is a sequence I want to play out for our viewers from earlier this evening.
Of abetment to suicide against you, sir. Sir, what is the reaction on that?
Well, Shashi Tharoor reserving comment, which is understandable. He doesn't really need to comment till the charge sheet is filed against him, and that's when he will be answerable to the courts and will want his lawyers to frame a response for him. Stay on with me, Nikunj. I just want to open this out. Ishkaran Bhandari, advocate, joins us. C. Rajashekharan, another advocate from Chennai with us. Ishkaran Bhandari, I believe that you are involved with Dr. Subramaniam Swamy in pursuing the ends of justice in this particular case. And I want to ask you, are you satisfied with the outcome?
See, it is a massive step forward. Please understand, for 4 years, in fact 3.5 years, nothing was happening in this case. Even though Dr. Swamy from day one was saying it's a case of murder. Then I am also a party in that case. Dr. Swamy moved to the Honorable High Court, where initially the Delhi police filed a few status reports. Then a reverse order came, and now recently, 2 months back, Supreme Court issued notice to Delhi police saying you have to reply. Delhi police in Supreme Court today said they will be filing it in 1 week. They will be filing a reply affidavit in 1 week in Supreme Court. And now your channel has broken the news that they will be filing a charge sheet that would be done in the trial court. This abetment to suicide is carries an imprisonment of 10 years. Plus, I believe, this is my opinion, the law department, which will vet the charge sheet, will come out with the 304B of IPC, which says if an unnatural death, and suicide is an unnatural death, happens within 7 years of marriage, that attracts 304B, which is also a case of murder, dowry murder. So that will also get attracted. Plus, during trial, if prima facie case is made out, and in this case, I'm sure it will be made out because there is humongous evidence, then the court itself can direct that the charges under 302, murder, be framed. So this is a massive step forward towards justice, but I think we have still not reached the full course. And I believe, this is my personal belief, that during trial, based on the evidence, a charge of 302 would be framed. Also, please understand, in this case, the documentary evidences are there where how probe was sought to be influenced. That is why Delhi police is charging destruction of evidence. Emails were issued suggesting alternative theories of death by an accused, which, let me tell you as a lawyer, is not unusual, it's never heard of. That a husband is suggesting alternative theories of death in an ongoing investigation by emails, by seeking opinions. That means he was not letting police do a job which they wanted to do on their own. He was actively busy in finding alternative theories. Then false theories were floated, which have been rejected by AIIMS autopsy report, that she was suffering from certain autoimmune diseases which could have caused her death. So you were actively, in this case, trying to suggest false theories of death, which was also wrong. Then he got himself admitted to the same hospital which was doing the autopsy as a member of parliament, which is also unusual and never heard of. You don't allow a husband or any relative who could be under suspicion to be in the same premises where things are going to...
Okay, look, all of this, of course, will be looked into by the police, and we'll have answers to some of these points that you've raised. Whether the police think that these are credible investigatory leads will all be determined in a few days. No, 1 minute. Let me bring in C. Rajashekharan. C. Rajashekharan, how do you respond to Ishkaran Bhandari that at least there is semblance of justice here? Or do you believe that the police has been behaving unfairly, is being guided by an unseen hand?
Rahul, first and foremost, I don't want to jump the gun on assumption and presumption. I don't want to charge somebody for no offense committed by the person whom you are mentioning happens to be the husband of the most loving and caring husband of Sunanda Pushkar. Here is an interesting case. The husband is saying his wife committed suicide, but the whole world, including the people outside concerned, were shouting, were yelling everywhere, all over, saying that it was a murder. Now that murder theory is thrashed and closed. Now the Delhi police have come to a conclusion after 4.5 years, saying that it is going to be charged under section 306. So going by that merit, if the Delhi police had investigated the matter on merits, they cannot charge the husband who was no way near to the offence or who is no way connected or directly or indirectly to the suicide. You can assume something and say Delhi police is going to do this, Delhi police is going to frame Shashi Tharoor. It's all ridiculous arguments, because let the charge sheet be filed in the court concerned, and then we can debate on it, on what grounds, what counts this charge sheet was framed and charged. I don't want to speak something without any hard evidence of charge sheet before the court.
Okay.
Let the charge sheet be framed and filed.
Now,
how can you make comments on something which is under
now, Nikunj, it is
stage?
not very easy. It is not very easy. It is not very easy to prove abetment to suicide. What's making the police so confident that they actually can bring this case not just to trial, but also, most importantly, to conviction?
Well, Rahul, unfortunately, Delhi police, which is otherwise a fairly professional force, its conduct in this entire investigation from the word go has been, to say the least, closing towards dereliction of duty. And the fact remains that even today, when they have decided to charge Dr. Shashi Tharoor with abetment to suicide, as you correctly said, almost all the recent Supreme Court judgments have never gone in favor of the accused when it comes to abetment to suicide. The court says that virtually you have to drive the person to the point where he commits the act himself at your behest or at your instance, then a person only can be charged with the abetment to suicide. Nonetheless, the police officers say that enough scientific, forensic and other incriminating material evidence, including the conduct of Dr. Shashi Tharoor, is available to them, which they have brought on record, which will clearly prove that it was his conduct prior to the death of, unnatural, of course, death of Sunanda Pushkar that drove her to suicide, and that's why the charge will stick.
Well, the police has its work cut out. And if this report stays the course on facts, then Shashi Tharoor has his work cut out to build his own defense in this particular case. Remember, he's still innocent. He's not guilty. He's not guilty. The courts will decide his guilt. We're not here attributing any guilt. We are only reporting a story. We leave it at that. The news are more details. Stay around. More details coming up with Navika Kumar. Don't go away.